When we're breaking free from toxic cycles and stepping into God's promises for our future, our destiny, and our purpose, and to help others, sometimes reflection on our past is crucial. It's pivotal to help us grow. Not to use it as a crutch, but as a stepping stone to help others, to understand what we've overcome. When I was a child, I was told to be silent and not heard. I was told to be seen, but not heard. I was told to shut up, that I was a liar, especially when I exposed the truth. I was told to do the right thing, even though the adults around me were doing the wrong things, and they were doing especially bad things. So the old adage is to do as I say, not as I do. That was my life. I witnessed animals being abused. I witnessed adults being bullied and children being physically abused. I witnessed racial slurs, lies being told, and I was compared to others who seemed to be doing better than me. I was told that I did things I didn't do. I was told I was a bad child and the spawn of Satan, that I was a waste of time. By the time I started having my own children, I didn't know how to care for a crying baby, nor did I know how to diaper one, or take care of my own medical needs after the birth of the child, the first one. I was oblivious even after the hospital treated me incomprehensible, horribly bad. The nurses and doctors treated me unimaginable. They said rude things. They associated my ignorance to drug abuse. And they didn't know the truth about how I was raised. I was extremely sick, and I had been for years, with suffering from co-infections, tonsillitis, and strep throat, from neglect, years of maltreatment, because my parents ignored the fact that I had Lyme disease. They didn't take me to the doctor regularly. When the school called and said I was sick, they would leave me there, and I ended up sleeping in the nurse's office until the end of the school day, and that went on for years. I didn't have a proper diet. I had lack of nurturing abilities because of my parents, the way they raised me. I was frozen emotionally and unable to express my needs, and I allowed people to walk on me, to abuse me, to demean me, and at one point I needed a job, and I had to take my several-week-old child to daycare, and I didn't have the money to do it because it was 15 miles in one direction to drop off the child at daycare, and I couldn't afford it. So I ended up having to ride a bicycle 15 miles in one direction only just to work a few hours. And it was horrible because I was sick and nobody paid attention to that. They did not acknowledge that I was having a really horrible time. And if I look back at these things each day, exhausted, and in the first stages of domestic violence in my life, I was extremely exhausted. I was in a relationship that was filled with intimate partner violence and domestic violence and alcoholism of my partner, and a relationship that was perpetuating intergenerational trauma onto my children. When we're breaking toxic cycles and we're stepping into God's promises for our future, our destiny, and our purpose to help others, serious reflection on our past is pivotal to help us grow, not as a crutch, but as a stepping stone to help others understand what we've overcome.